Tonight on News 5 Live, Petrocaribe is back. A new agreement is signed under the Briceño administration with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. BDF soldier is shot near Valentin Camp in the Chiquibo forest. And the body of 66-year-old Owen Tucker Sr. is found near Lamonau. A cab driver is arraigned for his murder. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited postpaid plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
It's an massive season with massive deals and rewards at Penny's. From now through December 31st, earn double P-Bucks on store-wide purchasing every Friday and Saturday. That's right, 2 times the P-Bucks, which means 2 times the cash back when shopping at Penny's. Plus, get even more rewards with P-Bucks Builders on home goods, tiles, appliances, paints, and lights. And don't forget, there's also massive deals and discounts on tiles and the best brands in paints like Benjamin Moore and BH. Rewards, deals, P-Bucks. You can Get it all this massive season, only at Penny's, celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
Make effortless memories with a Christmas loan from St. John's Credit Union Limited. Members can qualify for up to 3 times their monthly salary. Promotion runs from October 15th to December 15th. Call any of our St. John's Credit Union offices in Belize City, Belmopan, or Dangriga to book your appointment to make your dream Christmas a reality. St. John's Credit Union Limited. Safe savings, smart borrowing.
What's wrong? It's him. He hit me again. Oh my gosh. This time it was worse. He slammed my face in the wall and threatened to kill me. If you or someone you know is experiencing family violence, call 0800-A-WAY-OUT. Or you can text or WhatsApp to 672-9628.
It's that time of the year when all that stands between you and all of this is...
Give me 5. Give me 5. Give me 5.
That's all it takes. Get your coupons at Channel 5 and Coney Drive and Channel 5's website. Then, starting Monday, December 5th, keep those phones close and tune in to Channel 5 at 8 p.m. as we start our nightly giveaways until Friday, December 9th. Remember, when the phone rings, don't say
hello.
Say, give me 5.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, November 28. I am Sabrina Daly. Petrocaribe is a regional oil procurement agreement between Venezuela and Caribbean member states. It's back, and Belize is among the beneficiaries of the revitalized program under President Nicolas Maduro. During Prime Minister John Briceño's visit to the South American nation, President Maduro announced that Petrocaribe was being renewed and expanded to cover products in addition to petroleum. During the announcement, President Maduro said, quote, "It is time to multiply happiness, work, wealth, humility, and love for the union of the Latin American and Caribbean people," end quote. On the other hand, Prime Minister Briceño expressed gratitude and support for the cooperation between both nations, emphasizing that although Belize is a small country, it will continue to support Venezuela in any way possible. He also recognized the efforts of former Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez for engineering the innovative initiative, which has benefited Belize and many other countries. During the meeting, which was held at Miraflores Palace, the president's official residence in Caracas, a joint declaration was signed in which both political leaders committed to strengthening the close bonds of friendship and solidarity between their countries and respective people. They also pledged to work together to finalize agreements for cooperation in trade, energy, tourism, communications, air connectivity, education, culture, and housing. Of note is that while in opposition, the People's United Party was critical of the Petrocaribe program and the profligate spending of public funds by the Barrow administration. A Belize Defense Force soldier is hospitalized after being shot in the rear during an accident that may have international implications. According to a release from the Belize Defense Force, on Saturday afternoon, BDF soldiers at the Valentin Conservation Post along the Belize-Guatemala border heard a single gunshot. One BDF soldier soon realized that he had received a gunshot wound. He was rushed to the Western Regional Hospital, where he remains admitted to ward. Belizean and Guatemalan authorities have since launched a joint investigation in an effort to determine who fired the shot. Could it have been from Guatemala's side of the border, or was it a friendly fire? Well, Chester Williams, the Commissioner of Police, says BDF officers at the Valentin Conservation Post have all accounted for their ammunitions. The slug, once surgically removed from the soldier, will be sent for ballistic testing to determine its origin. Compal Williams spoke with reporters today in Belmopan.
Yes, I can confirm that yesterday afternoon, members of the Belize Defense Force visited the Salinasta Town Police Station, where they reported that on the 26th of November, sometime around 2 p.m., officers were at the Valentin outpost in the Chickabull Forest Reserve area when one single gunshot was heard. Subsequent to that, one of the BDF soldiers realized that he was shot in the buttocks. Since then, the BDF had left the outpost, and yesterday the police investigators, along with members of the BDF, went back to the location to investigate. At this time, investigators are still trying to ascertain exactly who fired the shot and from which direction it was fired. Based on what the BDF soldiers reported, is that the shot may have been fired from the direction of Guatemala. But we're still trying to ascertain if that is so. I know the BDF who was injured is still admitted to the Western Regional Hospital. And from what I was briefed is that the slug is still lodged in him. And so the slug will be very key for us in determining the type of weapon that was used, and even maybe perhaps the trajectory and distance. So as soon as the doctors have performed the surgery to remove the slug, we are going to obtain the slug from the doctor, and will be sent to the National Forensic Service for ballistic testing. And that will tell us if indeed or in fact the slug was fired from one of the BDF weapons, or by a weapon which does not belong to the BDF. So we're looking at that at this time to ascertain exactly what happened.
I know that many times when soldiers are allotted ammunition, they have to account for each round that they use.
We have checked with the BDF, and they have confirmed that every of the officers who were at that outpost did in fact account for all their rounds.
I know it's on the edge of the Chickabull, but how close is it to the Guatemalan border?
It's not too far away. I have been there once. It's not too far away, but still quite a distance for a shotgun or a small type weapon. Perhaps maybe a long-range weapon like an AR-15 or M16. An SLR, those may be able to travel farther, and if one is fired from the Guatemalan side of the border to that area, perhaps it might hit a target. But again, if it is, we're not saying that the shooter could have been in Guatemala. The shooter could have well been in Belize as well, just a bit more closer to the adjacency zone to be able to have a closer reach to its target. So we're looking at all that.
The body of 66-year-old Owen Tucker Sr. was discovered today in Lemonal Village. Reports are that the Belizean-American businessman who had purchased the Crockland property was murdered and his body dumped in the village. Even before his body was discovered this morning, Jerome Crawford, his driver, with whom he had a recent squabble, was charged and arraigned for his murder. Information is that Crawford has confessed to the killing. But before the body was found, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams told the media that police had already collected circumstantial evidence against Crawford. And while having no body would have made the case a bit harder to prove, he was reminded of how Vibes Cartel of Jamaica was convicted of a murder in the absence of the victim's body. But since the body has now been found, the presumption is that the case against the accused is now even more solid. Williams shared what led to the detention of Jerome Crawford.
Over the weekend, we had a breakthrough where we had interviewed certain persons and certain informations were obtained. That information we obtained led to the searching of the home of one Mr. Crawford, who resides in Belize City. At the home we found one 12-gauge shotgun, which we believed is the weapon of choice used to murder Mr. Tucker. Mr. Crawford was taken into custody and was interviewed by the police. He did not cooperate with investigation. But what our investigation is showing so far is that Mr. Crawford had an issue with Mr. Tucker over money. Mr. Crawford is a former employee of Mr. Tucker, and they had some issue over money. Mr. Crawford went to the farm where Mr. Tucker was, and he shot Mr. Tucker with the shotgun and wrapped his body in a rug and took it to dispose of it. We have direct evidence where that is concerned. And again, like I said, we will try to do more to be able to make the case stronger. I always believe that in any prosecution, you can never have too much evidence. You can have too little. So the more we get, the better it's going to be for us. We have also located and impounded a vehicle that was used to move the body from where it was shot to another location. We did process that vehicle. We used the luminal test, and that revealed blood in the trunk of that vehicle. We have obtained those samples and it will be sent for DNA. So if the DNA comes back and proves that Mr. Tucker's body was in that vehicle, then that will make the case even stronger.
Crawford appeared before Magistrate Dennison Manon. No plea was taken, and due to the nature of the offense, and bail was denied. The 44-year-old taxi driver of a York Street address was remanded to the Belize Central Prison until January 26, 2023. There was a murder recorded over the weekend in Belize City. 25-year-old Jerome Bennett was at his home on Pitter Street when two persons approached and took turns executing the young man. It was caught on surveillance camera, but the identities of the shooters remain unknown. By the time family members came out of their houses, Bennett was dead, having been shot multiple times to the head. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
He was sitting at the edge of the family yard on Pitter Street when two men approached. A single shot was fired which caught Jerome Bennett, and he ran for his life, leaving behind his slippers and cell phone. But as the surveillance footage shows, the gun was then handed to another who, with a shirt over his head to conceal his identity, ran into the yard before at least 4 more shots were heard. It happened on Friday night around 11 o'clock.
Police responded to a shooting incident at Peter Street, Belize City. Upon their arrival, they found the motionless body of Jerome Bennett, 25 years, with multiple gunshot injuries to the body. Investigation revealed that Jerome Bennett was in the area when he was approached by 2 male persons with firearm who fired shots at him, causing his fatal injuries.
Bennett was taken to the KHMH where he was pronounced dead on arrival. News spread like wildfire as the youth, who is a past graduate of Stella Maris School, was well loved and not known to be a troublemaker. Teacher Cherie Salgado says that his murder came as a shock to the entire school.
Our vice principal forwarded the news because I didn't saw the breaking news, and I'm like, Jerome? No man, there have to be another Jerome Bennett. So we were all in shock because we know We know the Jerome. We know Jerome, who we brought up from a little boy right here at Stella Marie. So it was a shock. It was a shock for us. Jerome is a very humble individual. She always cheerful, mannerly. Yes, miss, no, miss. He will never speak to you without addressing you with miss, yes, miss, no, miss. So very humble and mannerly student.
So who wanted Bennett dead and why? Police say 2 persons have been detained since then.
2 persons are in custody for this murder investigation at this time.
What would have been the motive of that?
We have not clearly established a motive. We are following on several leads. The information is that he may have had an argument over some monies with the male persons who may have been involved.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Coming up, Minister of Sustainable Development not clear on NEAC's decision to turn down port project.
It's Brothers Summit 39th anniversary, and that means big savings for all our valued customers. This year, save an extravagant 50% off our most popular products like our entire lineup of decorative paints you know and love, all power tools from our most powerful brands, Simpson generators and pressure washers, all windows, plus our new line of Track automotive batteries, a whopping 20% off all Inco mirrors, plus a whopping 50% to 60% off our Nuvo, Design House, and Westinghouse light fixtures. And don't forget our super yard sale items on clearance. Come in, call or message us today and take advantage of our delivery and curbside pickup options through WhatsApp.
Edwin Lewis Cole said, "Being a male is a matter of birth. Being a man is a matter of choice." I salute to all the fathers, brothers, partners, teachers, mentors, businessmen, professionals, fishers, farmers, and all my fellow men who are living a honest, productive, and peaceful life, caring for their loved ones and the communities. Now more than ever, Belize needs you to show our boys and young men how to become real men.
We encourage you to celebrate International Men's Day on November 19th under the theme Recognizing Belizean Men and Boys. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Families and Children in collaboration with UNICEF.
Across the globe and right here at home, millions of people are being exploited for profit. In our country, in our home, traffickers, human traffickers, are exploiting both domestic and foreign nationals for labor exploitation and sexual exploitation. Families are facilitating their young girls and women for sexual exploitation purposes. As a community, we are taking a stand against human trafficking in our beautiful country, Belize.
I stand against human trafficking in Belize.
I stand against the exploitation of the vulnerable.
I stand against human trafficking in all its form of exploitation towards our men, women, boys, and girls.
Trafficking in persons is a crime against humanity. The violence done to the physical and psychological well-being of people who are forced into slavery is a violation beyond imagination. No one can do everything, but everyone can do something. Take action now. I ask you, will you stand against human trafficking today?
Hola. Disculpa por no llegar anoche. Lo siento. He estado hace tiempo con ganas de decirte algo. Últimamente estoy lidiando con mis problemas de salud mental.
I think if there was no stigma around mental health, I'd be more open about what I'm going through on the inside. And I don't know, maybe I'd find that other people in my life are actually going through the same thing.
Há alguns anos, comecei a contar para outras pessoas sobre minha ansiedade. Isso me ajudou a descobrir ótimas formas de como lidar com ela.
Soy muy sociable. Creo que si hablara sobre mis problemas de la salud mental, simplemente no lo creerían. Por eso no hablo de ello.
Me preocupa que si la gente se enterara de mi salud mental, pensarán que soy débil. Por eso me aislé. Pero creo que voy a cambiar esto.
An official correspondence between the Department of the Environment and the Ministry of Sustainable Development regarding a recent decision taken by the National Environmental Appraisal Committee, NEAC, is yet to be delivered. It has been published elsewhere that NEAC did not give its stamp of approval for the Port of Belize expansion project, which would include the construction of a cruise terminal at its exiting facility. Minister of Sustainable Development, Orlando Habet, was asked earlier today about NEAC's decision to turn down the project. He told us during an appearance on Open Your Eyes this morning that he has not been fully briefed on the rationale behind that decision.
To be truthful, I haven't been completely apprised of the entire results of the NEAC concluded meeting. I can't really comment much. I think what you have heard is what I have heard, maybe saying no, but I have no details as yet. And for me to be able to comment and give more details, I would also have to await for that letter that comes from the Department of Environment to the developer, because that would be the official letter going forward.
Okay, but your chief executive officer sits as the chair of NEAC, correct?
Yes.
Hasn't he had any conversation with you, even in an informal capacity, to let you understand or let you know where they are regarding this issue?
Yes, certainly. But we wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't want to release information that is just coming from a conversation, but I would prefer to wait until that letter is produced, because he will sign that letter going out from the Department of Environment. Remember that we are dealing with companies who, we have done some investments, who have some expectations, and nowadays everything is litigation, so you have to be careful with what you say.
According to Habet, the process of approval entails various steps, including a look at the socio-economic impact of the project. He says that while expansion of the cargo port is necessary, other factors are also considered.
Certainly, any developer that sets in and makes a request or submits a proposal, and if they're informed that the size of the project or the expanse of the project and the location of the project requires an EIA, and then that goes through the process, and it is an extensive process, extensive review, consultations, and everything else. So all aspects have to be considered. But remember that our ministry is the Ministry of Sustainable Development also, where sustainable development, meaning that it will have to make certain that all aspects of environment are certainly looked at, the social aspect is also looked at, and the economic aspect is also looked at. So certainly they have to do a proper revision, look at pros and cons, different areas, short-term, medium-term, long-term benefits, and stuff like that. And so I think that when they come up with a final decision, they have to make certain that all those areas are looked at before coming with the final decision on whether they accept or reject a project. But Belize certainly needs to look at certain investments that are beneficial for our country. I know that the port and at least the cruise port that have been approved and those that are still awaiting a decision are certainly important. In this project, I know that submission was also made in regards to the expansion of the cargo port, which is something that is certainly needed for Belize. So all those aspects have to be considered when they make a decision.
The Ministry of Labor today launched its labor complaints management system for workers. One of the primary functions of the Labor Department is labor complaints management, which entails the mediation and settlement of labor disputes. The newly launched online system now makes it easier for employees to file a complaint. The manual system of record keeping is also now digitized. It is a huge step into the digital age for the ministry. We spoke with Oscar Rekenya, the Minister of Labor, following a launch ceremony in Belize City.
When we came on board, what we found is we found a manual system where people would go into the Labor Department offices across the country and make their labor complaints in person. What I would say is that we found a system that was very lacking. To be honest, people would go in and make their complaints, and it would take months or sometimes even a year before they would ever get any kind of feedback. In many instances, they spent a lot of money back and forth, visiting the labor offices, and in many instances, they could not, be able to get a positive outcome out of their complaint. So it was a very system that, really lacked a lot of, efficiency and, adequate and timely feedback, to the complainants.
Now with this new system, what guarantee is there in place that, in fact, they'll get a timely response and feedback to the complaint?
Well, what we're doing is, first of all, we need to ensure that we continue our public education, to sensitize the public on the new portal system, how they can access it, and certainly ensure that, they can upload their information. And once that is done, they are going to be getting, acknowledgement, that the information has been uploaded. And certainly they will be able to follow through, and track the progress of their complaints. And, if they do not get, satisfactory responses in time, they will certainly be able to, follow through.
And while the Ministry of Labor has made improvements to its labor complaints management system, the post of Labor Commissioner remains vacant. We asked Minister Rekenya about that position today to find out when an appointment will be made, especially since one of the responsibilities of the Labor Commissioner is to ensure the enforcement of the Labor Act. Here's what he told us.
That process, is about to be finalized. One of the delays with the, finalization of that process is that the Public Service Commission, did not have a chairperson. My understanding is that is about to be completed, that we are going to have a new chair for the Public Service Commission, and once that person is in place, that position of the Labor Commissioner is going to be sanctioned.
Do you have a name?
Have we identified anyone?
Yes, we do have somebody, but at this point, I don't want to reveal anything until it gets an opportunity to go before the Public Service Commission for approval.
So when do we expect that Public Service Commission chair to be installed, and then following the Labor Commission?
Right. What I can say to you is that I think it was about 2 weeks ago. We were informed in cabinet that that person had agreed, and basically we were just waiting for the person to retire, because I understand that the person was about to retire. I believe that the person has now retired, so that process should come through anytime now.
PPF Capital Belize Limited, the consulting firm hired by the government of Belize to hold countrywide consultations on the $5 minimum wage increase, has submitted its final report to the Minimum Wage Task Force. The task force is now reviewing the report, which will be then presented to Cabinet with recommendations. Today, Minister of Labor Oscar Requena announced that the minimum wage increase will come into effect on January 1st, New Year's Day. On the other hand, the Belize Chamber of Commerce continues to be concerned that an immediate minimum wage increase to $5 will have many employers laying off employees and further increasing their prices. With only 4 weeks before the end of the year, we asked Minister Requena about those concerns.
I am certain that the consultant who undertook this consultation met with various stakeholders across the country, including labor organization, employers, employees, and certainly their views were taken into consideration and are captured in that report. At this point, if there is anybody who still wants to make a submission, they can do so to our Labor Department.
What's the next step now that that report is in the task force, and we have 1 month before January 1st. This is the end of November this week.
Right. Well, essentially, the reports are going to be presented to Cabinet. And as you know, the Prime Minister already made a commitment during his September 21st, speech, in which he indicated that, the $5 minimum wage comes into effect January 1st. So essentially it's for us to, tidy up everything, ensure that we have all the necessary structures in place, and we move forward.
I have to ask you how we'll tackle the persistent position from the chambers, where they're still proposing a phased approach to this implementation of the $5 minimum wage.
We work very closely with the chamber and several other stakeholders, and we have listened to their concerns, but I believe that the reality, and Cabinet has studied this very carefully. The reality is that inflation, the cost of living, there is no doubt that we have to increase the minimum wage. We have to. So we will continue the discussion. I'm certain that at the end of the day, cooler heads will prevail. And at the end of the day, we want to be fair. We want to ensure that the wealth distribution, ends up as much as possible in an equitable manner so that all Belizeans can benefit.
After the break, public officers and teachers want their increments unfrozen. But first, here's the weather report from the Belize Meteorological Services.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast prepared by the National Meteorological Service. I am meteorologist Shana Young. A slightly moist and unstable airflow prevailed over the area, which supported a few showers earlier this morning over the south and over the north this afternoon. What can we expect for tonight? Generally cloudy conditions will prevail over most areas, with isolated showers, however, near Placencia and also over the south near Punta Gorda. A few showers and isolated thunderstorms can be expected. Tonight's low temperatures will be 78 degrees Fahrenheit near Belize City, Dangriga, Placencia, with 77 over Punta Gorda, while over San Pedro, 80 degrees Fahrenheit can be expected, and slightly cooler conditions is likely over the inland areas near 71 around San Ignacio and 72 in Belmopan and Orange Walk. Taking a look at tomorrow's weather, a similar trend is expected to continue with generally cloudy conditions across the country and a few more showers over the south during the day tomorrow. Taking a look at tomorrow's highs, along the coast, 87 degrees Fahrenheit can be expected, while inland, 91 degrees Fahrenheit is expected over Belmopan and San Ignacio, as well as Orange Walk, with 87 degrees over Corozal. Taking a look at the weather for the next 4 days, a moderate east to southeasterly airflow will prevail, with showers mostly over the south and over the north early tomorrow morning. A similar trend is expected on Wednesday, while another increase in showers and thunderstorms is expected at the end of the week. Taking a look at the tropics, over the Caribbean Sea, tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 48 hours. Taking a look at the marine conditions, winds will continue to be mostly from the east and southeast at 10 to 20 knots, and this will produce waves of about 3 to 5 feet and choppy seas. Taking a look at the tides, there will be a high tide at 1:21 tomorrow morning, followed by a low tide at 9:04 in the morning, and another high at 3:23 tomorrow afternoon, followed by a low tide at 10:17 in the night. The sun will rise at 6:05 tomorrow morning and will set at 5:16 tomorrow evening. The moon will rise at 11:42 tomorrow morning and will set at 11:23 tomorrow night. Join us again on Wednesday for another weather report and forecast prepared by the National Meteorological Service. This weather report was brought to you by the National Climate Change Office through the UNDP from Pledge to Impact project.
My lights, yeah. Go to my lights, go to my lights. You gotta go to my lights, yeah. I wanna shine, 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 shine. I hit my lights cause that's my plan, 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 plan. My lights have your favorite brand, 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 brand. Just coming, nothing in your hands, 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 hands. My lights, and it goes on and on and on. It goes on and on and on, yeah. I wanna celebrate with my lights, sing yeah, yo, baby let's go. My lights, I wanna celebrate with my lights, sing yeah, yo, baby let's go. We going to the stores, but we gon' do right. We gon' light a life, only with my light. We going to the stores, but we gon' do right. We gon' light a life, only with my light.
I am.
We are.
All of us. Together.
12 decades working to achieve health for all. Individually, collectively, universally.
This is our mission.
We stand together with all people.
In every community, every country, throughout the hemisphere.
Because we are healthier.
Together.
We are the Pan American Health Organization, celebrating 120 years of solidarity in advancing health and well-being, leaving no one behind.
Who offers the best home internet experience? The truth is, Digi, of course. Diginet has the largest fiber network and the fastest speeds with the most reliable service. That's more learning, more earning, more gaming, more bonding, more sharing, getting more things done. And now, Diginet is even more affordable with the new entry plan, a 20 megabits per second fiber connection for just $49 monthly, and increased speeds in all plans. The truth is, only Digi has the ultimate home internet experience, with savings up to $270 when you bundle. Wireless and cable can't give you that. So what are you waiting for? Sign up or make the switch to DigiNet today to enjoy more speeds to get more done. Digi, our national telecom.
It's that time of the year when all that stands between you and all of this is...
Give me 5, give me 5, give me 5!
That's all it takes. Get your coupons at Channel 5 and Coney Drive and Channel 5's website. Then, starting Monday, December 5th, keep those phones close and tune into Channel 5 at 8 p.m. as we start our nightly giveaways until Friday, December 9th. Remember, when the phone rings, don't say
hello.
Say, give me 5.
Earlier this year, the Briceño administration returned the 10% salary cut for public officers and teachers. But an increment freeze is still in place. As the country's economy is gradually rebounding, allowances for CEOs were recently increased, much to the disappointment of the unions. Over the weekend, News 5 caught up with Union Senator Elena Smith, who says that for some time now, they have been trying to get a meeting with government to have their increments unfrozen.
Well, we should. This was not something that should go on forever. And you will understand, and you can understand, when teachers get upset when they see these things happening. And then when the Prime Minister says, well, the teachers got back their 10%, so CEOs can get something. Failing to say to us that everybody got back the 10%, including them. So they got the 10 plus, they got these things, and where are our teachers? We work very hard. We have done a lot during this pandemic. We continue to do a lot to try and bridge the gap of that 2-year difference that we've had. And for us to be at a point where we see everything going up, but our increments remain frozen, it has made our lives difficult. And a lot of our teachers do not have the ability or do not have the resources, to be able to sustain the bills that they have, their families, and provide for the classroom as well. So these things, when we look at the increment and you calculate what you would have lost, it is more than the 10%. And so it's important that that be reinstated and as urgently as possible. So we are awaiting the meeting with the government side because we have been asking for it for quite some time now. It's for them now to set that meeting and sit to so that we can discuss the next steps forward. Because this has gone too long now. We know that the increment freeze is for a set period of time. They had said 3 years. It doesn't mean that it has to go to 3 years. And so we are hoping that it can end very shortly. And hopefully for this upcoming fiscal year, that it can be reinstated.
The Prime Minister, however, has argued that increments are not automatic.
Well, it's not automatic, but they took away from everybody. So from the time you took from everybody, then you are saying to us that it's automatic. Yeah. And so we know that there has to be an appraisal, and you get that based on your appraisal. So if that is the case, then they should have taken from those who would have deserved to get increments those years, but they just took away from everybody. So right away you are saying to us, well, it's automatic. Everybody must get the cut because everybody will get increment anyway. So give it back to everybody because you took from all of us.
Last Thursday, we shared excerpts of comments made by former Minister of National Security, John Saldivar, following a press conference he held after being designated by the United States government. The U.S. State Department has charged that Saldivar accepted bribes in exchange for improperly facilitating the acquisition of Belizean immigration documents and misused a U.S. donated Coast Guard boat for his personal gain. Saldivar has vehemently denied the allegation of immigration corruption. He did admit to using a boat that the U.S. government gifted to the Belize Coast Guard for personal trips, including taking Lev Derman out on a trip. Derman is the man who stands accused and incarcerated in a U.S. jail awaiting trial for a huge fraudulent scheme, and is also the man from whom Saldivar had received several hefty tranches of donations during his campaign in the last general elections. Saldivar said that while he could concede to making an error in judgment in using the boat for personal trips, none of what he did amounted to criminality or corruption, and that the police cannot even contemplate investigating him for any misuse of the boat, since he gave the authority for its use as the authorized minister. But while he is of that view, today Commissioner of Police Chester Williams told reporters that police have already begun an investigation against Saldivar.
Well, I am beyond contemplating already because the investigation has commenced. So to say I can't even contemplate is already not true, because I'm beyond that. Yes, he made mention it might have been, at this time in hindsight, an administrative oversight. But it is the same with Mr. Montero. He was a minister, and he gave the permission for the equipments to be used. And despite that, he was still charged. Like I said before, I'm not going to be the arbiter of that. We're just going to do the investigation. I will submit the file to the DPP, and then if she believes that there is sufficient, then she give it direct. If she believes that there is not sufficient, then the same.
The United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, UNODC, today conducted virtual cybercrime training for the Belize Police Department, the Magistracy, and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. The training is focused on the elements of cybercrime and how to respond and properly investigate cybercrime. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams shared how the police can now address crimes committed online. And it doesn't matter whether you use your real name to commit the crime or use a fake account. The police will be able to trace the person who committed the crime.
Within the police department itself, we have an issue in terms of officers not being aware of when a cybercrime offense had occurred. Like for instance, if you were to see someone bullying you on social media and you go to the police, for the most part, police will tell you, we can't do nothing, when in fact the legislation is there and they can do something. So even within the department itself, we're doing a lot of sensitization to bring our officers up to speed in letting them understand the law itself and what their powers are under the law, so that we'll be able to address the issues of people where cybercrime is concerned. Once the complaint is made, then the police station, the officer who would be dealing with the complaint, would make a request to the cybercrime unit here in Belopan, and the cybercrime unit here is going to ensure that they notify Facebook to preserve the information, as well as to and it will be preserved so that when we get a court order, they will have it. And once that is done, then we also download what we can download from the site itself. That will serve as evidence. But we also ask people that when they come, that they can bring along a copy of the post that they find to be offensive to them.
Almost a month ago, on October 31st, Celia Florian, a 30-year-old businesswoman of Belmopan, went missing. Her body was discovered off the Hummingbird Highway 4 days later, and a post-mortem thereafter certified that she died of strangulation. The police investigation has resulted in no charges against anyone. But of note is that a subject of their investigation was a policeman who was a friend of the deceased. However, as Commissioner of Police Chester Williams told the media today, there was no evidence that linked him to Florian's murder.
The woman, the victim, is an acquaintance of a police officer. And yes, we have looked at that possibility of the police officer's involvement. But at this time, there is no iota of evidence to indicate that the police officer is involved. It's just a matter that he knew the woman, and that's it.
A resident of Willows Bank was killed and another seriously injured in a motorcycle accident on the Willows Bank Road on Saturday night. Juan Cantun died sometime around 7:30 that night. Today, the officer commanding the police department's Eastern Division, Senior Superintendent Ilberto Romero, shared the details.
Okay, at 8:35 p.m. on Thursday, the 26th of November 2022, police responded to a fatal RTA on the Willows Bank Road. Upon arrival, they saw Juan Cantun with injuries. Also found one Lloyd King, 51 years, with injuries. Investigation revealed that Juan Cantun was riding his motorcycle when he knocked down Lloyd King. He fell off the motorcycle and he received several injuries. Juan Cantun was taken to the KHMH where he succumbed to his injuries. Lloyd King was treated at the KHMH and is in a stable condition.
Romero said that in recent times, the number of traffic accidents involving motorcycles has increased significantly, and that many times these accidents are preventable if only the drivers adhere to the traffic laws and drive bikes that are properly outfitted.
There is an increase in fatal accidents involving motorcycles. Again, we encourage drivers of these motorcycles to respect the speed limits, to respect the traffic laws. If sometimes we look around and we see that some of this is based on reckless driving or reckless behavior. We encourage them to follow the rules, in an effort to try and minimize these accidents, because yes, we are seeing an increase of fatal RTAs involving motorcycles. Yeah, we have our highway patrols. We also have our checkpoints, but again, we cannot be everywhere. So when it is identified and found, then we deal with it. But again, we encourage drivers to ensure that their motorcycle has on good lights, reflectors, and that they respect the traffic laws.
When we return, moving ahead together, creating positive changes for a better Belize.
Design Depot is committed to providing the best in essential items. We are offering special rates to those affected by Hurricane Lisa on GE freezers, washers, refrigerators, dryers, ranges, mattresses, Oran windows, and much more. Visit us today at Mile 3 Philip Golson Highway or contact us at 223-3768. WhatsApp us at 613-5581. Design Depot, all in one place.
My lights, yeah. Go to my lights, go to my lights. You gotta go to my lights, yeah. I wanna shine, 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 shine. I hit my lights cause that's my plan, 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 plan. My lights have your favorite brand, 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 brand. Just come with nothing in your hands, 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 hands. My lights, and it goes on and on and on. It goes on and on and on, yeah. I wanna celebrate with my lights, sing yeah, yo, baby let's go. My lights, I wanna celebrate with my lights, sing yeah, yo, baby let's go. We going to the stars, what we gon' do right? We gon' light a life, only with my light. We going to the stars, what we gon' do right? We gon' light a life, only with my light.
Knowing your HIV status is now easier than ever.
Did you know that you can test for HIV in the comfort of your own home by simply swabbing your gums?
OraQuick is an in-home HIV test that can provide you with results in just 20 minutes. The test detects HIV antibodies with over 99% accuracy and is trusted by healthcare professionals worldwide.
If you receive a positive result, you should contact your nearest healthcare clinic to perform follow-up testing and to get advice on what to do to stay healthy.
And even if you get a negative result, remember, it is important to continue protecting yourself from HIV and other STIs. Using a condom correctly every time you have sex is the best way to do so.
HIV self-testing kit is convenient, reliable, and now available in Belize. Your test, your way. Bob.
For more information on where HIV self-testing kits will be available, please contact the National AIDS Commission, the Belize Family Life Association, or the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
¿Calificas para la amnistía 2022? Esta es tu oportunidad de averiguarlo. Usted califica si es registrado como solicitante de asilo en el Departamento de Refugiados antes del 31 de marzo de 2020, residiendo en Belice antes del 31 de diciembre de 2016. ¿Tienes hijos nacidos en Belice el o antes del 31 de diciembre 2021? Completó su educación en Belice. Casado con un ciudadano de Belice por 1 año o más. Viviendo en unión libre con un ciudadano de Belice por 5 años o más. Referido por el Departamento de Servicios Humanos. Empleado remunerado en Belice durante 5 años. Para obtener más información y cómo presentar una solicitud, visita el sitio web www.immigration.gov.bz. Prepárate, el plazo de inscripción será del 2 de agosto al 30 de noviembre de 2022. Amnistía de Belice 2022. Continuemos construyendo Belice juntos.
Social Security, transforming service delivery. My Social Security is your secure online account to manage all your Social Security information. My Social Security launched in March 2021 with registration service to apply online for new or replacement Social Security cards. Upgrades to My Social Security continues with a new look, enhanced customer experience, and its newest feature, Sickness Benefit Online application. With My Social Security, you can create your account, log in, and take control of your Social Security information. This includes applying for a new or replacement Social Security card for yourself, child, or dependent. Make appointments online and submit your complete sickness benefit claim package. Our customer care team is here to provide you, our valued customers, with real-time support. Connect with one of our customer care agents through direct messages on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or live chat, or follow our YouTube channel for more information, tutorials, and guides. A complete 360 view of your Social Security information is coming soon, which includes a new employer portal for employers, businesses, and self-employed persons. Contributions history and statements. All SSB benefits. Medical portal for registered doctors, and fingerprint enrollment all in one place. Social Security at your fingertips. The significant enhancement of service delivery to you is here. My Social Security.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
A new non-governmental organization was officially launched over the weekend at the Biltmore Plaza Hotel in Belize City. During its first in-person meeting, MAT, Moving Ahead Together, is resolute in its mission to rebuild Belize through positive change, education, and empowerment. While it was founded a few months ago by well-known attorney and activist Audrey Matura, its members are from across the country, persons who may not be known as activists, but who want to see a change made in their communities. So they are asserting themselves. And as News 5's Dwayne Moody found out, they are ready for the pushback that may come with their new roles. Here's that report.
Moving Ahead Together, or MAT for short, was registered by attorney Audrey Matura back in September, but was officially launched on November 26th. Its goal is creating positive changes for a better Belize.
On Emancipation Day this year, I was in bed and I'm thinking, look at all the things happening in our country. We have a failed opposition. Our leaders, they seem so petty. We have issues about how we should use our natural resources. We have issues about health, the crises. We have crime, all these things, and so many people on Facebook crying about it. And I said, I have always been one very vocal, but I want to do more. So the following day, I just put a post up and I said, I would like to form a movement. And if you go on my Facebook, you'll find the post. Who is willing? Are you willing to make the sacrifice, basically, I said. And I was shocked. I said, inbox me. Look, in less than an hour, I got 16 inboxes. I couldn't even respond. Before the night was out, I had over 100, and I said, well, I'll cap it to 100. Let me get a 100 working group. You all have to know these are literally all strangers. It's not people I've met, I've known. We are meeting here for the first time. We've met virtually, but in person for the first time. And I basically said, if you have the same heart I have, if you have the same interests I have, if you love your country and want to make a difference, join.
Most of the members are persons who are new to activism, but believe that they can be a part of the change that the country needs. Suamara Garcia is a teacher from Dangriga, and Dwight Crawford is an accounts manager from San Jose Socots, but living and working in San Pedro. They shared their perspectives.
And I just think that my generation is not involved in these movements, if I could put it that way. And I would surely like to be a mentor to my generation and to encourage them to be a part, to stand up. Many times I see like the BNTU where I don't think they have the support of the people, and I want to be a part of things like that, to support those that are fighting for change within our country.
My expectation is that hopefully we see development, not individual but community-wise, in terms of our women, our youth, our infrastructure, and in whatever area it is that we can improve our country, because ultimately Belize is ours, and whatever we do should be for the benefit of Belize. I come from a very large family, very big people. I'm the youngest child in my family, and so I'm not intimidated by people nor by size, like I normally tell my students. I'm the smallest in my family, so numbers and size don't intimidate me. And I have my passion for what I believe in, so if I believe in something, I go 1,000%.
The keynote speaker was Senator Elena Smith, president of the Belize National Teachers Union, who has organized protests against corruption and successfully negotiated for good governance and more. But being a government watchdog is not without its challenges, some of which Smith shared with members of the newly formed People's Movement.
When you do these things, it comes with pushback. And if you're not prepared for the pushback, then you're going to fall aside. And when we have these movements, we don't want people who are going to be starting and then stopping halfway because they get frightened, they get scared, somebody threatens them, somebody begins to bully them. You have to have that courage, to understand that, listen, this is a part of this journey, and if I will take this journey seriously, then I must understand that it comes with those things.
Share with us some of those challenges that you have faced.
It's been quite a lot. While I was on strike, my house was broken into, my documents were stolen. I've received death threats. I've had persons who've come to me to say, listen, I'm coming from a party meeting and this is the discussion, and so there are guys who are out there to get you. My children have been targeted. But as I said, that's a part of of you being an activist, of you doing your work.
I know what it is to be a single mother. I know what it is to be dragged through the family court. I know what it is to be locked up. I know what it is to be imprisoned. I know what it is to be called names and attacked. I know what it is to be threatened. I know what it is to stand on my own. I can feel the compassion for people who are homeless, because I know what that is, to whether you all believe that or not, who are hungry. I can feel the compassion for the women who can see their children dying and don't have the ways of getting them the best health care, for the man who is trying to get a job and doesn't know how he'll feed his children. I have the human experience.
Founder Audrey Matura speaks about some of the fundamental issues guiding the organization.
I think no matter which party is in, you're entitled to your land, you're entitled to your job, you're entitled to good health care, you're entitled to proper schooling for your kids. There's just so much in my mind that I would want to see better for my country, and I know we can do it. But I can't do it alone. So a group of 100 strangers have come together, and we call ourselves the First 100.
According to Matura, MAT will be supported through fundraisers and assistance from the diaspora. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
The first in-person session at the Biltmore also featured presentations by persons such as Nigel Petillo on land ownership and the struggle of Belizeans to own and develop land as a means of economic security. Christina Koch and the importance of grassroots organizing, Maya land rights, and the struggle to enforce the judgment of the Caribbean Court of Justice. Also present as guest speakers were Louis Wade Jr. and attorney Dickie Bradley on knowing your rights under the Constitution and the need to actively participate in the discourse. In the months ahead, founder of MAT, Audrey Matura, says she will be touring the country to meet with community and village leaders in an effort to ensure that the people's movement grows and develops teeth. But is this the semblance of a political career for Matura? Here's how she responded.
I know people ask, would we become a political party? And the answer would be definitely, maybe yes, maybe no. I can't tell the future. I believe you can't just form a political party. The monsters that we have to fight are too big. I believe what we have to do first is create a movement. Educate people, because democracy only works if we have an enlightened set of people. Keep the topics at the forefront. So we right now, I think we would be more like an opposition than anything, because that set is in mess. But the government can't run roughshod over all of us. So it would be more the movement first. If we have people who spill over from here into a political party or join any of the major parties, it would be good for us, because then we have people of like mind going in, infiltrating other things. But that's too soon to say.
Is that something you're considering, though?
I would consider it, honestly. In the past, I've been asked, and I said no, but I pray over these things, and if it's to be, it will be. It's not like, oh, this is my ambition.
The inaugural meeting of the People's Constitution Commission was held last Thursday, and over the course of 18 months, they will be responsible to review and make extensive amendments and revise, where necessary, the Constitution of Belize. It is a profound task that has been placed on the 23 members of the Commission. While it is not under similar circumstances, Senator Elena Smith, having been a part of a commission of inquiry, spoke on the role of the Commission and gave the members some advice.
When I look at the representation on that commission, we see where we have some important stakeholders. I think the role for them now is to go out and ensure that the persons that they represent, are informed, are able to provide input, suggestions, recommendations, but also that as a commission that they ensure that they do their work of going out and getting feedback from the entire population. So they've had their first meeting. Yes, I don't know what has been the decision in terms of, the steps forward, but hopefully, they will progress as planned, and we will be able to see the end of this process at the time that it should conclude. When we do these things, sometimes we tend to look at what we want or what we think as opposed to what others are saying to us. And so it's important that they understand, and I do believe that they do, that it's not about what they want, but it's about what the people are saying. And so they must go out get that information, put that in writing, and then see how they can include all of what they've received within the suggested amendments to the Constitution.
And while Union Senator Elena Smith is optimistic that the process is progressive and will yield results in the end, Attorney Audrey Matura is skeptical. She believes that GOB is going about constitutional reform in a wrong way. Matura says that experts in constitutional law and its development should have instead been pooled, and amendments, where necessary, should then be taken to the people via consultation. According to Matura, the Commission is loaded with persons with individual interests or for the particular community they represent, and not from a nationalistic perspective.
I don't think it's a progressive move. I think it's needed, but I think the way they're going about is wrong. For example, how can you put on a commission so many people with so many interests, personal interests? Everybody wants to put their agenda there. That's not the purpose of constitutional reform. The purpose of constitutional reform is that you have to get people who know the Constitution. They know the Constitution, and they lobby ideas. They find out what people want. What is it you want to change in the Constitution? What is it that is working? What is it that can be removed? What is it that can be improved? What is it that can be added? That's not happening. It's everybody talking over each other. I don't believe with how it's being done. The other thing I have a problem with, you're going to the people and it says, hey, I want to change the Constitution. What do you want change? But you're asking people who don't even know their Constitution. There's some good in it, but there's some things that can improve that comes updated with the time. I'm concerned that people with their own little agendas will take over the movement. So I do not believe the process is the proper process, but I do believe that there is need for constitutional reform. It's so ironic because under the previous government, Dean Barrow just wanted to change key things and force it down our throat. And there I was fighting against the 8th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, all kind of amendments where he was taking away rights. Now this group comes to the other extreme. Okay, you all tell me what all you want. That's not the way. There has to be a middle ground. You get qualified constitutional attorneys. You get people who are trained in this, who know it, and they will look at it. They will do comparatives of constitution all over the world. They will look at your society. They will look at what has changed. What are the rights you want to change? Definitely one of the things that the Constitution now has to address is the Section 53 of the Criminal Code that has become law. But how do you incorporate that into the Constitution without offending others? There are ways to do it, but I don't see it being productive. It's more a political gimmick. Some people will be making money and blah, blah, blah.
Over the past few weeks, the conversation of offshore oil drilling resurfaced. Oceana's Vice President in Belize, Janelle Chanona, launched a petition drive to trigger a referendum on offshore oil drilling, and in that same vein, the Office of the Prime Minister issued a statement saying that it has not entered into any agreements or seismic studies, nor for oil exploration in offshore areas. And while it may seem as though Oceana Belize has jumped the gun, Chanona believes that a referendum is the best way for Belizeans to state their collective position on the matter. Over the weekend, the media caught up with former VP of Oceana Belize, Audrey Matura, who had organized a people's referendum that voted against offshore oil drilling. While back then it was not government-sanctioned, GOB placed a moratorium on any activity of the kind. With the resurgence of this issue, Matura says that she has yet to weigh in on the matter.
Before I get into that debate, I want to be clear that my position will always be that there should be no offshore drilling. I want to hear the government's explanation. I know that Janelle is up for a big task. I want to be sure what Janelle's personal role is, not only as VP, because she's presently a Board of Director member of BEL. BEL is one of those places, along with Fortis, that has raped our resources. You can't be saying you don't want offshore drilling, but we have a contract with Fortis that they have all right over our resources, our river, that they now want to have monopoly on all energy existence. offshore oil. The oil is related to energy. There's a lot of politics and dynamics. So I want to look at the individuals first to see what is their conflict of interest, to see what is their personal agenda, to find out who is getting paid in different positions, because that matters. When I was at Ocean, I was accused of getting all kind of things, and I know I didn't. So these are people who hold offices. I want to know all the players. So while my personal position and principle will remain, whose bandwagon I jump on or where I stand has to be properly researched and properly figured out for myself.
Just ahead, Tough Enough is the new Inter-Office Basketball League 2022 champions.
Galenia Hospital, located in Cancun, Mexico's premier tourism destination, is a state-of-the-art healthcare facility that provides highly specialized medical services. We are Quintana Roo's biggest private hospital with board-certified doctors and staff. Some of our services include Cath Lab, Adult Intensive Care Unit, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, emergency rooms, operating theaters, ambulance services, and more. We are a medically accredited hospital by JCI, Accreditation Canada International, and General Health Council, providing extraordinary care in every specialty, from our cardiology department to our neurology center. We are focused on treating the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. Contact us at medicaltourism@hospitalgalenia.com or visit our website at www.hospitalgalenia.com. Come to Galenia Hospital in Cancun for a truly personal medical care experience.
We live in a world where undernutrition and obesity can exist side by side in the same country, home, or even person. Foods high in sugars, salt, and/or unhealthy fats are leading to unhealthy diets and are one reason why children may not be growing healthily, while causing other people to develop overweight or obesity. The consumption of unhealthy diets is heavily influenced by marketing. Easy access is fueling this new nutrition reality, but thankfully, change towards a healthier future is possible. By having a sustainable healthy diet made up of a variety of foods that are safe for consumption, we can promote health and have better abilities to fight illness. How do we do this? Good nutrition for women during pregnancy and for children in their first 1,000 days of life, including breastfeeding, sets them up for healthy adulthood and future generations. We should eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, pulses, nuts and seeds, and less sugary drinks and foods high in sugars, salt and unhealthy fats. The less of these foods we buy, the more the food industry will be encouraged to produce foods that contribute to healthy diets. We can also call on our leaders to make the right decisions so that every person, everywhere, can afford and access good nutrition. When people like you and me, industries and governments work together to make positive changes, we can create a healthier world.
What is Medriva? Medriva is the easiest and safest way of booking a taxi or delivery service. Here's a guide on how to use our services. Download the app, available in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. Tap where you're going. Your location will be picked up automatically, and you can change location by entering a business name, street, or PIN location. Select delivery or economy, the number of packages or persons. Your payment option, cash, credit card, or e-cash. Tap confirm, and a driver will accept your booking. You'll see the driver's profile picture, name, license plate, and the color of the vehicle. You can also message and call the driver. You will see real-time tracking of your driver approaching you, and you will be notified when he or she has arrived. Rate the driver by your experience. An electronic receipt will be provided. Tap the hamburger menu. Tap points for every ride completed. With Medriva, you can earn cashback deals to use on your next ride. Tap promo code. This is your special code to share with family and friends to earn discounts on your next ride. Medriva, transportation at your fingertips.
How
we to measure the success of our lives? For many, an ordinary life should have the following: a job, a house, enough money to buy a new car. But what if we threw out the ordinary? What could escaping ordinary at our jobs do? How about for our marriages? What if I told you we could all be escaping ordinary? Join us as we begin our new series.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
It's that time of the year when all that stands between you and all of this is...
Give me 5, give me 5, give me 5!
That's all it takes. Get your coupons at Channel 5 and Coney Drive and Channel 5's website. Then, starting Monday, December 5th, keep those phones close and tune in to Channel 5 at 8 p.m. as we start our nightly giveaways until Friday, December 9th. Remember, when the phone rings, don't say
hello.
Say, give me 5.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Good night and welcome to this week's edition of Sports Monday. I am Paul Lopez. We have some exciting sport highlights and reviews for you tonight. So let's get started with the Inter-Office Basketball League. The IBL 2022 champions have been crowned, and they are none other than the undefeated Tough Enough. Taking a look back at Saturday night's decisive Game 2 inside the Belize Civic Center, Tough Enough was already up 1 in the best-of-3 series. But Central Health Customs went into the game with the intentions of keeping their championship hopes alive. The game was off to a great start with back-to-back baskets on both ends of the court. Wade with the hot hands for a 3-point basket. Number 22, Ian Rene, also made some huge baskets for his team. At the end of the first half, the score was 33-43 in favor of Tough Enough. Up-and-coming artist Yas Talia gave fans a halftime show to remember with her impeccable stage presence and flawless vocals. In the second half of the match, Tough Enough turned up the heat as they were getting a whiff of the sweet smell of victory. Central Health Customs played their hearts out, but in the end, they were unable to force a Game 3, which puts Tough Enough back on top of the league once again.
Arana, congratulations. You guys are the IBL 2022 champion. How does it feel? Well, it feels really great. We worked hard all season to accomplish this. Well, now as a team we accomplished what we wanted, so we feel good.
What does it mean for you to have gone through this journey undefeated?
Well, it's something really good because it takes dedication and hard work to go through a season undefeated. It's not easy. You see, we put up a lot this season and we came out undefeated, so it was a hard work. It wasn't easy.
We noted that earlier you were awarded the MVP of the regular season. Tell us about that and what that award means to you.
Well, it's a great accomplishment. It's my first MVP as a season for Interoffice. It's my first finals. I've won many championships, but this is my first Interoffice, so it feels really good.
After COVID, I never really know what I want to do because I lose a lot of money and I lost a lot of the programs I'm going to do with the youths to provide jobs and things for them and try to create to keep them together with me, but I lose a couple of them. And then when I did the Interoffice earlier, before the IBL, they never invite me. So it really hurt me a little bit because they know I always come and I always represent and I always bring competition to the basketball. But when they did say yes, I regrouped my boys them together with the help of Joseph and Taylor and them. We come in and we made a nice team to compete. Yes, and so that was a sweet victory for me because it's been a while. I haven't played the IBL.
So what do you guys do to celebrate now this victory?
It's funny because we have to do 2-day celebration. Belize City and San Pedro. So we are part of the joyride.
The finals MVP went to none other than Cleanse Coupe Lopez of Central Health Customs. We say congratulations to Team Tough Enough and Coach Rico Black on his 4th IBL championship. And from basketball, we move into bodybuilding. The Belize Bodybuilding and Fitness Federation hosted the Mr. Belize 2022 Championship on Saturday night inside the Ramada Hotel. After a 2-year pause due to the COVID-19 pandemic, bodybuilding enthusiasts were back out for a full night of competition in 4 categories, which included the novice, men's physique, the open bodybuilding class, and bikini fitness. Making the award podium in the men's physique open category were big names to the sport like Darwin Poppy Leslie, Eric Vasquez, and Mark Alford. Clayton Greenwich was also back to defend the Mr. Belize title. He had competition in the likes of Abu Sese and Godfrey Alford. And in the end, hard work and dedication that Greenwich maintained during the COVID-19 pandemic proved enough for him to keep his title as Mr. Belize. He was crowned the Mr. Belize Champion 2022. Alford received 2nd place and Sese secured 3rd place. Members of the Cycling Federation of Belize converged on the UE Auditorium on Saturday to hold elections for a federation executive. Our cameras were not allowed to enter the room, but after a short 20 minutes inside, the meeting came to an end and members began to leave the compound. After inquiring, we learned that voting had to be postponed for another 2 weeks due to some technicalities. So we spoke with the outgoing president of the federation, Urson Butler, to find out more. Here is what he told us.
The thing is that today we came to dissolve the federation and to have a new election for the new by slate. No? What happened is that we do have a technicality that was shown based on our constitution. The federation sends out an email stating that the election would be today, 21 days ago. However, we receive applicant information on the 12th of the month, which is 15 days to today. But the constitution also has that there has to be a proposer for president, vice president, general secretary, and treasurer. And that was not done in that manner. So for the National Olympic Committee and Sports Council, the election needs to be carried out by our constitution. So then we now dissolve the meeting. We ask both parties and slate to do their proposals and nominees, and we have confirmed that by both slates. So now we move the election to 2 weeks from today, which will be, I believe, the 10th of December.
We also took the opportunity to get to know the 2 slates vying for leadership. We spoke with both president candidates about their vision.
The main objective, though, is to make this country fall in love with the sport and get our athletes international out there known, and get Belize on the map, and to do development for youths throughout all the 6 districts, not just the local districts such as Cayo, Orange Walk and Belize that have been known for cycling. We want to spread it across the country and develop the sport to a new capacity that has not been seen before.
We have a great vision when it comes to that, and we have great people involved. We have persons who have been in cycling for years. We have business persons. We have team owners. So definitely our vision for cycling is to develop cycling, and we want to do that through unity. Each and every member out here, we want to hear their voice. We want to understand what they want. We have been in it so long that we have heard the cries, and we want to make some of those changes for them.
All right, and that is all we have for you tonight. Thanks for joining us. Until next time.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.